Call this meeting of the Long Branch City Council Workshop to order. Roll call.
Mrs. Billings?
Here.
Mr. Pallone?
Here.
Mr. Siriani?
Yeah.
Dr. Selly?
Here.
Mrs. Bastelli?
Here.
I hereby certify that this meeting has been published in the newspaper in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Okay, our first item on the agenda is the budget presentation by Mike Martin, our Chief Executive, our Financial Officer.
Thank you. Just a short presentation this evening, a couple slides to review.
Mike, would you mind using the mic?
I
please?
would absolutely not mind. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. All right. Just a few slides to go over. First slide has the appropriation cap calculation, the tax levy cap calculation on it. These are also on one of the actual budget document sheets. Pretty much what this shows is there's an appropriation cap and a levy cap that the state imposes on towns. This indicates that we are under both caps fairly significantly compared to the size of our budget. We're $2.6 million under our appropriation cap and $1.3 million under our levy cap. The appropriation is what we spend and the levy is what we assess the taxpayers for taxes, just to make it more easier to understand. Anybody have any questions on that slide, or can we go to the next page? Next page is 2017 budget revenues. So you can see in the pie chart where pretty much the majority of our revenue for the city is local municipal taxes. The next biggest is local revenues. State aid is the third highest, followed by surplus and grants. Other special items are usually grants and things like that, and delinquent taxes are smaller. But the predominance of our budget is made up of tax revenue from the residents.
What are some of the items that make up local revenue?
Local revenue, beaches, parking fee, parking meters, fees and permits that we take in for licensing and things like that. Those are local revenues. Construction fees as well, also, yes. Actually, construction fees has its own little piece of the pie at the 700,000, farther down. That's broken out separately.
Did our state aid stay pretty much the same?
State aid exactly the same as last year as it's been the past several years. The next slide breaks out the appropriations, not by department, but as far as what it's applied to. The largest expense is salary and wage of our personnel. The other expenses constitutes everything else. All our O&E expenses.
Insurance?
Insurance is in there, tipping fees. We have a separate spot for capital, we have a spot for debt, and deferred charge is a very tiny portion. Next slide. This is actually a breakdown of the dollars by department and percentages. As you can tell, the largest department is police. Good job, Jay. Second largest is public works.
Thanks, sir.
Third largest spot we spend, or amount of our money on, is insurance. And then going down to debt service, statutory expenditures, and small other amounts, general admin.
Is
public
medical insurance part of police and public works?
No, it's part of
It's
insurance.
just all insurance, including
Workers'
every-
comp,
It's all in
liability,
that.
health insurance is all clumped into that spot.
Public safety, what is that? Is that fire and first aid and stuff like that that's not included in police? It's 8.4%?
Public safety could be like dispatchers,
That's what I mean.
Things like that, right.
The fire department?
fire department,
Probably traffic, fire department.
traffic, fire department, yeah.
Anything in the Department of Public Safety?
OEM,
Stan.
It's probably a big chunk of it.
I don't
huge,
see how to say that.
huge.
You're on the spot.
Huge.
I'm actually, if you look, I'm actually under the
8.4.
Home City Administrator.
Stan, 8.4.
Yes.
You think there was a time that this slide that just had a dollar bill instead of $100 bill? Did that strike anybody?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Neither did I.
Yeah.
10 years ago it was $1, now
10 years ago it was a dollar.
inflation has had to get bigger. The last slide we have is the tax rate breakdown. This is strictly an estimate because all the other schools and county is not fully finalized. But the largest piece of the pie is local school district at 43.47%, followed closely by the municipal tax of 40.95%, and then county, open space, and libraries. Actually, libraries fourth, and then open space. But that's pretty much, out of every dollar that we collect, that's where it breaks down to. We have to pay it back out to these agencies, the county and the school and the library.
And we're looking at 2.27
2.27 total estimated rate.
based on a, look for the words. Based on what's up, on 100, I'm sorry.
Oh, per 100 of assessed value of grants.
Mike, that's based on everybody staying flat in the other areas, right? County,
Yes, the rumors that I've heard is the school is staying fairly flat, going up a little bit for debt service, and the county is probably also very close to the same. So we're anxiously hoping for a very slight, if any, tax increase overall to the residents.
That's what I was gonna say, what's the impact on a resident of an average house? Do we know at this point, it was still, because that's what, you know, the residents want to know, you know, is it gonna,
The difference in an average assessed home is only gonna be, looks like about $25 a year annual increase potentially.
that's great.
That's assuming everything on this pie chart remains the same.
Right, these are all estimates at this point.
And they would find out about that in the tax bills that they receive in the second half of the year.
Correct. Those rates are all established after July 1st.
Very good.
What's the average assessed value of a home? 400,000 or something like that on there?
And for 2017, the average home assessment is $412,556.
And 37 cents.
So that $25 is based on that assessment?
Correct.
That $25?
Yes, sir. That concludes my slides. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to our regular review of the meeting agenda. Does anyone have any questions or comments tonight? John?
I don't know.
Anyone else? No? Okay. Need a motion to close.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We have an added executive item tonight. Personnel matter, police department. I need a motion to go into executive session.
Second,
Let's see, roll call?
Mrs. Billings?
yes.
Mr. Palone?
Yes.
Mr. Siriani?
Yes.
Dr. Selly? Mrs. Bastelli?